Hello everyone, this is me Sharon and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to crochet this purse with a flower design. It's quite easy and I'm sure even beginners will find it easy to make this one. So I hope that you watch and stay until the end of this video. Alright, so for this project, you're gonna need any yarn of your choice, and I have used Lanalon yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, and I have used a 2.5mm crochet hook. Now, you can use a thicker yarn, and the recommended hook size for that. If you want to have a tight tension, then you can go down one hook size of the recommended hook size. Like if the yarn calls for 4mm and you're a loose crocheter, then you can go down like 3.5 to 3mm crochet hook. after working a few rounds, before we do the final round, we're gonna work a chain 1, and then for the next round we're just going to work in the back loops only. So you do the regular 1 single crochet into every stitch, but we're going to work into each back loop only. So we're gonna do that until we get back around, and then for the final round just work the regular single crochet on both loops. Alright, so once you get back around, you're gonna work a slip stitch on top of the first single crochet made. So remember that this one counts as our first stitch, including this. So our first stitch looks bigger because of the 2 loops that you can see in there, but don't be deceived. We just count that as 1 stitch because that is where we close off each round. For the edging, to make the design, we're gonna use a different yarn, and you may use any color of yarn that you like, and I'm going to make a slip knot. So just make sure that the stitches, the total number of stitches around, are in multiples of 8. So after working a slip knot, we're gonna start. So I am gonna leave it here for now because I plan to add a few more rounds, so you can add a stitch marker if you would like. Alright, so this one counts as our first stitch, so this is where I will start. So after making a slip knot, insert the hook into the first stitch, which is on the front loop, and then work a single crochet. So you can weave in the end later, and then you're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to skip 3 stitches. So this one is still part of our first stitch, so we count from here, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th. That is where we're gonna work our single crochet, chain 5, and then we're gonna skip 3 front loops again, 1, 2, 3, and then into the 4th we work a single crochet, and then we keep doing it until we get back around. So just keep doing that until you get back around. Alright, so we're going to chain 5 more for the last time, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna work a slip stitch on top of the first single crochet made. So you can weave in the ends later, and for the next round we're going to slip stitch our way till we get to the 3rd chain of the chain 5 space. So there. So once we get to the middle of the chain 5 space, we're gonna chain 4, 3 and 4, and then we're going to work 3 double crochets together. into the fourth chain from hook, and 1, 2, 3. So once we have 3, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to insert our hook into the top of the 4 double crochets together, and we're going to work a small circle to make the center for the flower. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. After chaining 3, we're going to do 2 double crochets together, and then we're going to chain 3, slip stitch into the center, and we're going to do 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochets together, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the circle, 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochets together, and then chain 3. Now for the last petal, we're going to chain 3, and then we're gonna work 3 double crochets together, and then we're gonna yarn over and pull all 4 loops, and then we're going to get to the next chain 5 space, and then we're gonna go work a slip stitch on top of the 3rd or the middle chain. So there, we made our first flower, and then we're going to chain 5 and then work a slip stitch into the middle of the chain 5. So that's going to be the 3rd, and then after that we're going to repeat working the flower. So we're going to chain 4 and then work 3 double crochets together. 1, 2, and 3. So we're repeating the flower pattern that we did in here, and then we're going to chain 5, and then we're gonna insert the hook on top of the chain where we did our 4 double crochets together. We slip stitch, and then we're gonna start working the other petals. So chain 3, 2 double crochets together, chain 3, and there we did our 2nd petal. So that's the repeat pattern. We will keep on doing that until we get back around. So as you can see, the 3 petals have the same pattern, in which you're going to chain 3, 2 double crochets together, and then chain 3. the first and the last petal have the same pattern. So into the last one, we're going to do 4 double crochets together. There. And then we're going to slip stitch on top of the 3rd chain of the chain 5 space, and then we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then slip stitch into the next chain 5 space into the middle stitch, which is the 3rd chain, and that's what you get. You have a nice border or design for your purse. So I'll show you what it's going to look like after I finish doing all these flowers. So by the time that you get back around, you should have chained 5, and then you're gonna work a slip stitch into the same stitch as where you did your first petal of the flower that you've made, and then you're going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and then try to leave in the ends or hide the tail ends. I'm gonna do the same in here, and this is what you're gonna have. So just make sure that the stitches, the number of stitches around should be in multiples of 8. Otherwise, if you're going to follow stitches in multiples of 5 only, chances are that you might be missing chain 5 space once you get to the next round of these edging that we have made. So just make sure it's in multiples of 8 to get the even number of chain 5 spaces in between and then flower in here. So once you have this done, so we're now going to cut off this yarn, and then if you still want to work a few more rounds, it's up to you. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to work a crab stitch. So to do that, I'm gonna chain 1, and then on the first stitch available on the right, that is where I'm going to insert my hook, and then yarn over or to pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through the twisted loop. So that's what you do when you work a crab stitch. And if you're left-handed, do not worry, because I have a video, and as you can see, if you're left-handed, it will be worked on your left side. So because I'm right-handed, I'm working this crab stitch to the right side. So into the next available stitch, which is here, I'm going to insert the hook, pull a loop, and those 2 loops should be a bit twisted if you're looking closely, and then you're gonna yarn over and pull through those 2 twisted loops, and we keep repeating that until we get back around. So what I like about this crab stitch is that it makes this nice edging, and this is actually working a single crochet stitches in reverse. So this is optional. You may want to skip this part if you don't feel like doing it. So just keep working a crab stitch until you get back around. So once you get back around, I usually work my last crab stitch into the same stitches where I first chained the one, and then I'm going to cut off the yarn. That's it. So next thing is I'm going to weave in the yarn end, and all you have to do is add a zipper. After weaving in the ends, I turned it inside out, and then I'm gonna attach the zipper. I actually have a lot of tutorials on how to insert this zipper step by step, and you can check on my playlist. And then after that, after pinning it and attaching the zipper this way, it's upside down. So the next thing is you're gonna need a sewing needle and a sewing thread to sew it in the middle from here to here, and then on the other side. So this is what it looks like after I sewed the zipper. So I used the yarn and a smaller needle. So I guess it's really nice if you have needles of different sizes, so that you'll have something to use when you plan to use the same yarn and sewing in the zipper. And then the next thing is, of course, we're going to turn it or flip it and make sure that the zipper isn't. All right. So I also have a tutorial on how you can attach the lining for this one. Alright, so the stitch is in multiples of 8. So I started with a foundation chain, and you can actually make the bottom part wider if you want, but I only did 2 rows, and then after that I worked in rounds. First, you can also turn this one into a sling bag if you want. You can add some straps. The size is about 12 or 12 centimeters, 4.5, and then the height is 3.5 inches or about 8. So you can definitely adjust the size that you want, for as long as the number of stitches around would be in multiples of 8, so that you can make this particular flower design